Hello children, we are discussing chapter 13 of your book, that is sound. In my previous video we had discussed what is a sound. Sound is a form of energy which enables us to hear, which travels in the form of vibration, and those vibrations enables us to hear. That is known as sound energy. Then we had discussed, bache, for the traveling of sound we always require a medium. And sound can travel from all the three basic media, that is solids, liquids and gases. The speed of sound in solids is maximum. The speed of sound in liquids is moderate, that is less than solids. And the speed of sound in gases is slowest. So that's how the speed of sound varies in different media. Next we have discussed, bache, the comparison of speed of sound with the speed of light. In my previous video, I explained you, bache, that how during a thunderstorm we saw the lightning first and then heard the thunder. हम पहले lightning देख लेते हैं बच्चे, पहले हमें वो flash दिखाई देती है, फिर हम उस आवाज को सुनते हैं. Why? Because the speed of light is quite much higher as compared to the speed of sound in air. That is why the light from that flash reaches our eyes first, and then later on that sound came. That we had already discussed, bache. Now we will discuss the terms which are related to sound waves. We know, bache, that sound always travels in the form of wave. What is a wave? A periodic or a fixed, a constant movement of particle is known as a wave. You generally draw the wave like this. So sound also travels in this manner. The particle of air move back and forth, move ahead and backwards, bache. And this will gives a complete wavy motion. So sound always travel in the form of waves. And to study those kind of waves, we require three basic properties, and those basic properties are frequency, amplitude and time period. We will discuss these properties one by one, but before discussing these properties, first we will discuss simple pendulum. What is a simple pendulum? Simple pendulum is a ball spherical structure which is known as a ball. That is not a simple pendulum which I am holding, but it's a model of simple pendulum. What I did is, I bind a thread with a ball which is easily available at our houses, bache. This is the model of a simple pendulum. This thread, it is of L length, and this is a spherical structure which is known as a bob. This arrangement is known as a simple pendulum. So what is a simple pendulum, bache? It consists of a small metallic ball. It is not a metallic ball, bache, it's a plastic ball. That metallic ball in pendulum is known as a bob. That circular spherical ball is known as the metallic ball, is known as a bob. And that bob is, attached with a thread, with a wire as well. The mass of that thread must be negligible as compared to that bob. This thread is fixed to a rigid support. That arrangement is known as a simple pendulum. A very important definition for your exam, bache. What is a simple pendulum? A simple pendulum consists of a small metallic ball, and that metallic ball is known as bob, which is suspended or hanged by a long thread from a rigid support. That support at which it is binded must be rigid, bache, fixed. That arrangement is known as simple pendulum. For example, bache, this is a simple pendulum. Now, this bob is held at a stationary position. This bob is not moving. So this arrangement is known as simple pendulum, and in this case, this simple pendulum is at rest. In this simple pendulum is not moving at all. But bacho, if I exert a force over it, then this simple pendulum will start to move around its mean position. First it is going from this mean position to that, and then it will return to mean position, and then again come back to another extreme position. This is the mean position. First it will goes to first extreme position, then it will return to mean position, and then it will go to another extreme position on the other side. That is what the simple pendulum's motion is. It is moving forth and back, that is back and forth movement around its mean position. That is what the vibration is. So this is how a simple pendulum works, bache. It moves from its mean position to worst extreme position, return back to another mean position, and then goes to the second extreme position on the other side. This pendulum keeps on slowing down, bache. The motion of this pendulum keeps on slowing down, as you can see, and ultimately it will stop. Why, bache? Because of the resistance of air present in this column. As bache, this pendulum is present in air. This air will exert a frictional force over this bob, and this bob will stop on its own. The motion of this bob and the position of extreme position and the distance of extreme position depends on the length of this thread. If this thread will be shorter, then extreme position will be smaller, and if that thread will be longer, then the position of extreme position will be higher. So this is what the simple pendulum is, and its motion about its mean position. Now we will discuss the terms related to the pendulum. The first term is oscillation of the pendulum. What is oscillation? I explained to you, bache, this pendulum bob will move from its mean position to one extreme position, then return back to its mean position, and then goes to the other extreme position. Now this one complete movement, that is either from one mean to extreme, then again to mean, then goes to other extreme, and then return back to mean. एक ऑसिलेशन कब पूरी होगी बच्चे? जब ये एक मीन से एक एक्सट्रीम पर जाए, रिटर्न बैक टू द मीन पोजीशन, then goes to the other extreme and then return back. This is complete one oscillation. What is confusing in that is that students, in most of the cases, students assume that if it goes from there and return back to here, this is one oscillation. No, beta. This is not the one complete oscillation. If it goes from one mean to other extreme, then return back to its mean position and goes to the second extreme position and return back. Now this is what referred as one complete oscillation. Or if a pendulum moves from its one extreme position to another extreme position and return back, that is known as one complete oscillation. अगर एक पेंडुलम बच्चों एक एक्सट्रीम से दूसरी एक्सट्रीम पोजीशन पर जाए और वहां से वापस उसी एक्सट्रीम पोजीशन पर आ जाए जहां से उसने शुरू किया था, दैट कंप्लीट मोशन इज नोन एज वन ऑसिलेशन. सो द मोशन ऑफ अ बॉब ऑफ द पेंडुलम फ्रॉम वन एक्सट्रीम पोजीशन टू अनदर and then return to its original extreme position, that is known as one oscillation. That is referred as one oscillation. Next, there are certain terms which are related to this. The first one is amplitude of a pendulum. Amplitude is denoted by A and it is measured in meters. Its SI unit is meters. What is amplitude? The maximum displacement. ये mean position है बच्चे. This is the mean position where it stands still. The maximum displacement, the maximum distance which it can travel to its extreme position. For example, in this case, this is traveling this much distance, but this is amplitude. And if I didn't apply much force, then it will goes to a much shorter distance. So that is the amplitude, the maximum displacement which this bob can travel. This maximum displacement on either side, किसी भी side पर हो सकता है बच्चे को. That maximum displacement of the bob from its mean position to extreme, that is known as amplitude of the pendulum. So, what is amplitude? The maximum displacement of the bob from its mean position to extreme position. That distance, यहाँ से यहाँ तक का जो distance है, that is known as amplitude. Amplitude is denoted by A, and it is measured in, or its SI unit of measurement is meters. I explained you as well, bache, that whensoever it goes from its mean position to its extreme position or to its amplitude, then slowly it returns back to rest. Why? It gradually stops. Why? Because of the resistance of air, because of the friction exerted by the air over this bob. Second term is time period. Time period of a pendulum is denoted by capital T, and time period is measured in seconds. What is time period? The time taken by this bob to complete one oscillation. बच्चे, ये जो बॉब है, ये एक एक्सट्रीम पोजीशन से दूसरी पर जाए और वापस वहीं आ जाए, इसमें जितना टाइम लगेगा, दैट इज नोन एज टाइम पीरियड ऑफ द पेंडुलम. द टाइम टेकन बाय द बॉब टू कंप्लीट वन ऑसिलेशन. ये एक एक्सट्रीम पोजीशन है बच्चे, यहां से दूसरी एक्सट्रीम पोजीशन पे जा रहा है और वहां पर वापस आ रहा है. जितना टाइम इसमें लगेगा, दैट टाइम इज नोन एज टाइम पीरियड ऑफ द पेंडुलम. द टाइम टेकन बाय द बॉब टू कंप्लीट वन ऑसिलेशन is known as time period. It is denoted by capital T, and its SI unit of measurement is seconds. So that is the term amplitude and time period. Now the third term related to the wave is frequency of a pendulum. What is frequency? The number of oscillations complete by a pendulum bob in 1 second. That complete number of oscillations is known as frequency. एक सेकंड में एक पेंडुलम कितनी ऑसिलेशंस कंप्लीट करता है, कितनी टू एंड फ्रो मोशंस कंप्लीट करता है अबाउट इट्स मीन पोजीशन, दैट नंबर इज नोन एज फ्रीक्वेंसी. So the number of oscillations completed or made by a simple pendulum, by a bob of a simple pendulum, you may add, in 1 second is known as frequency. The unit of frequency was named on the scientist Heinrich R. Hertz, and that name is Hertz. तो साइंटिस्ट ने अपने नाम पर ही बच्चे फ्रीक्वेंसी की यूनिट का नाम रखा Hertz, represented by XZ, capital H and small z. It is represented or denoted by either M, either by a small f, or by nu. This symbol is known as nu. These are the Greek symbols which we are using. That symbol you will study in your higher classes. This is nu. These all are the three symbols or the representative symbols of frequency. Now bache, for example, if you have given the frequency of a sound is 50 hertz, what does it mean? अगर बच्चे आपको फ्रीक्वेंसी दी गई है 50 hertz, क्या मीनिंग है इस बात का? That means the 50 oscillations are completed by a pendulum in 1 second. अगर बच्चे कोई आपको बोल रहा है that the frequency given to you is 50 hertz, what does it mean? It means that 50 oscillations are completed by a pendulum in 1 second. Or you can say the 50 vibrations are completed by a sound wave in 1 second. Because bache, the number of oscillations in 1 second is known as frequency. And if it is given to us that is frequency is 50 hertz, that means 50 oscillations by a pendulum in 1 second. If the frequency is 256 hertz, what does it mean? It means 256 oscillations in 1 second. So that is the relationship if a frequency is given to you. If someone say that frequency of a sound is 1000 hertz, what does it mean? It means that sound completes 1000 vibrations in 1 second. The other units of frequency is kilohertz. Kilohertz is equals to 1000 hertz. The larger unit than kilohertz is megahertz, which is equals to 1000 kilohertz or 10 lakh hertz. Another unit is gigahertz. You must have observed that nowadays the mobile screen dimensions are 90 hertz, 90 gigahertz. So that these are the hertz. That is the frequency of the waves which is traveling in that screen, which is used in that screen. So the hertz has certain larger as well as the smaller units. So this is the terms, that is amplitude, time period and frequency of a pendulum.